In the year 1587, over 100 men, women, and children arrived on a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. They came with hope. They came with dreams. They came to build a future in the New World. But just 3 years later, every single one of them vanished without a trace. No bodies were found. No graves were discovered. There were no signs of a struggle or a battle. Only one mysterious word was left behind, carved into a wooden post. That word was CROATOAN. This is the story of America's oldest and most disturbing unsolved mystery, the lost colony of Roanoke. During the late 1600s, England was racing against Spain to claim land and power in the New World. Spain already controlled much of South America, and England wanted to establish a permanent settlement of its own. Roanoke Island was chosen because it was close to important sea routes and easier to defend from enemy attacks. In the year 1587, Governor John White led a group of 115 English settlers to this island. Unlike earlier expeditions, this group included entire families. There were men, women, and children. They were not soldiers. They were ordinary people hoping to start a new life. The settlers quickly began building wooden houses and small protective forts. They planted crops and tried to survive in unfamiliar land. At first, some local Native American tribes were friendly, while others were suspicious of the newcomers. Life in the colony was difficult, food supplies were limited, and the settlers struggled to grow enough crops. The environment was harsh, and survival was never guaranteed. As the months passed, food shortages became worse. The settlers realized they would not survive without help from England. Governor John White made a painful decision. He would return to England to gather supplies and then come back as quickly as possible. He promised the settlers he would return soon. With heavy hearts, they watched his ship disappear into the ocean. When John White reached England, his plans were destroyed by war. England was preparing for a major conflict with Spain. The famous Spanish Armada threatened invasion, and every available ship was needed for defense. John White begged to return to Roanoke, but he was forced to wait. What was supposed to be a short trip turned into a 3-year delay. During that time, the settlers were completely alone. In the year 1590, John White finally returned to Roanoke Island. What he found was terrifying. The colony was silent. The houses were gone, carefully dismantled instead of destroyed. There were no signs of violence, no blood, and no graves. It looked as if the settlers had packed up and left calmly. White searched desperately for clues. Then he saw it, a wooden post with a single word carved deeply into it. CROATOAN. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island and also the name of a friendly Native American tribe. Before leaving, John White and the settlers had agreed on a signal. If the settlers were forced to leave because of danger, they would carve a cross into a tree. There was no cross. This suggested they had left willingly. John White tried to sail to CROATOAN Island to find them, but a powerful storm forced him to turn back. That was the last time he ever searched for the lost colony. Over the years, many theories have attempted to explain what happened to the settlers. The most popular theory suggests they joined the CROATOAN tribe to survive. This would explain the lack of violence and the dismantled homes. Some historical reports even describe Native Americans with European features and light eyes. However, no solid archaeological evidence has ever confirmed this theory. Another theory claims the Spanish secretly attacked and destroyed the colony. Spain considered English settlements a serious threat, but again, no weapons, bodies, or ruins were ever found. This theory remains unproven. A third theory focuses on starvation and disease. Scientific studies of tree rings show that a severe drought occurred during this time. The settlers may have been forced to move inland in search of food or water. But if they did, why was no trace of them ever discovered? Some people believe something darker happened. A massacre, a curse, or an event too terrible to be recorded. But the truth is simple and terrifying. No one knows what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. More than 400 years later, this mystery remains unsolved. 115 people disappeared. One word was left behind, and history still has no answers. What do you think happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Mysteryverse Animated for more hidden mysteries from American history.